a monster.
Those Ray couldn't make it. She said they graduated.
Thank you, thank you. How are you? Buenas noches. Money, money. Tú eres un bárbaro. ¿Cómo tú estás? Sí, viene ahora para acá. Viene ahora para acá. Nada más. Espera, la gente que fuera, por favor, siéntate. Oh, Buse, de los Buse family.
Usted es Kiko, pero Kiko, fue qué placer. Usted es un artista famoso en estos medios. ¿Cómo está? Encantada. No, Kiko es un artista famoso. Enrico Kiko Calderín, eso es, ¿cómo está? ¿Qué tal? No, yo dije, yo tengo que conocer a Kiko. Yo tengo que conocer.
Como le escapé a Hollywood para venir hoy para acá.
¿Verdad? Ya sabía yo. Bueno, después te doy para que me firmes el autógrafo.
Okay, ya.
¿Cómo están?
I got promoted.
George said he's not going to. Yeah, no, because he said by the time he closes. By the way, this is Kiko.
Oh, el famoso Kiko, Dios mío. Eres famoso, hija. Hola, mucho gusto. ¿Ya Neri conoció a Kiko? Ya conociste a Kiko. Pero deja que yo le diga a Yoli que Kiko está aquí.
Yes, sir. Thank you for coming.
No sabes nada.
Maybe that's you, but you were though. So how's it going, Marty? Working hard?
That's why I'm like so hard to get in contact with because it's like I'm starting.
Maybe do you work like regular like rush hours or?
6 to 5, but since I'm staying longer, like my hours are normal, it's like 6 to 7:30. So by the time,
Yeah.
and then at 5 in the morning, I'm not sure.
You know, even five, probably stay like an hour and a half drive.
They
Good evening. You notice that just like in school, you know, so the gavel. Welcome to the city of West Miami. Today is Wednesday, February the 6th, 2019. And welcome to our special meeting tonight, our 7 o'clock meeting. Well, for that, first we're going to start with the invocation. Ms. Aguilar,
Thank
can
you.
we please rise, please?
Lord, we pray so that you continue to bestow your blessings upon the city of West Miami, upon our audience this evening. We ask you to bless these young ladies that are furthering their future academic opportunities and taking advantage of this wonderful opportunity to represent their culture in our great Miami-Dade County community. We ask you to bless our leaders. We ask you for to bestow world peace upon us and to keep our military, our first responders, our police officers safe so that they can return home to their families. And we ask this in your name. Amen.
Amen. Deputy Chief, for the pledge, please.
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's sit down, please. Roll call.
Roll call. Mayor Eduardo Mujina.
Present.
Vice Mayor Rhonda Rodriguez.
Present.
Commissioner Candida Blanca.
Yes.
Commissioner Juan Blanes.
Present.
Commissioner Luciano Suarez is on his way. City Manager Yolanda Aguilar is present. City Attorney Jose Villalobos is excused. And City Clerk Annette Gonzalez is present.
Thank you. Next item, please.
Item 4, citizen presentations. No presentations, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Next item.
Item 5, under new business agenda items, item 5A, presentation of recognition to Publix employees. This item is sponsored by Mayor Mujina, and the Publix employees are Marta Barquero, Customer Service Manager, Freddy Casanove, Store Manager, Jorge Prado, Pharmacy Manager, and Enrique Kiko Calderin, Produce Clerk.
Thank you. Before you come up to receive your plaque, I would like to say a few words. And first of all, Mari, thank you so much for all the what you have done for the city of West Miami. And probably the question to you is why Publix? Why you? And the reason is very simple. Since the inception, it has been a blessing to our community. Everybody that lives here and adjacent to the city of West Miami welcomes Publix. I mean, the service is incredible. Everybody's so happy that you are our neighbors and you're part also of the city of West Miami. But furthermore, tonight we want to recognize you for all your participation. We were a little saddened that you have left our neighborhood, but I'm glad that you're here tonight with us. And this is just a little token of appreciation of your public service. You know how you handle people, how do you talk to people, and it's incredible. And that also not only goes for you, but also goes for Freddie. And I know Freddie was transferred and to another Publix, but I mean, just to give you a special thing about him, I mean, he was the type of person that you will go up to him, or he's the type of person you will go up to him and you ask him about a certain item. And instead of telling you, go over there, aisle 4, whatever, he actually take you there. Or he will ask you, are you sure you know where it is so I can take you there? Or he will send somebody to escort you to whatever you're looking for. And that's something very, very special. The same thing with Jorge Prado. Jorge Prado is a person that, just an example, is, let's say you have a prescription in another pharmacy. And the typical thing is when you tell them that, they go, okay, you got to call the pharmacy, you got to call the doctor, and make sure that they call over here and whatever. No, he will take care of himself. He said, don't worry about it. Give me your information. And he will call the doctor. He will call the other pharmacy and transfer, everything, the prescription to Public, And the last person is Kiko. And I'm going to talk about Kiko in Spanish. So, con su permiso. Kiko para mí es una persona muy, muy especial. Kiko lo conocí frecuentando con mi esposa un restaurante local y ahí establecimos una amistad inmediatamente. El servicio de él es un servicio muy especial, una persona muy familiar. La persona que lo conozca se va a dar cuenta que tiene un corazón grandísimo. Inmediatamente también conocí a su esposa. Y una de las cosas que para mí fue súper importante, él tuvo interés en trabajar en Publix. Y entonces en una de las conversaciones me dijo, me interesaría trabajar en Publix. ¿Tú conoces a alguien allí? Digo, por supuesto, a Freddy. Y entonces conversé con Freddy. Y fue bien interesante porque él frecuentó a Publix varias veces hasta el punto que Freddy me dijo, dile a Kiko que cuando esté la posición abierta yo lo llamo, que no me llame más. Bueno, siguió Kiko, al fin empezó a trabajar en Publix. Hoy por hoy, Kiko, luchador que vino recientemente de Cuba, es una persona que ejemplar, vecino de West Miami, por un tiempo. Ahora se nos mudó de West Miami, pero no importa, lo vamos a recobrar porque yo sé que está buscando una casita en West Miami. Kiko, hoy por hoy, trabaja en 2 lugares para mantener a su familia y muy orgulloso que trabaja en un restaurante acá de West Miami, nuestro restaurante Covadonga. Además de eso, trabaja en Publix. Así que imagínense, se levanta por la mañana bien tempranito, va a trabajar a Publix, va para la casa después, duerme 1 hora creo, y se cambia de ropa y va a trabajar al restaurante. Y yo no sé hasta qué hora. Así que de verdad que hemos hecho una buena amistad y a mí lo que más me impactó de Kiko es siempre su buena voluntad, siempre como Kiko está atendiendo a todo el mundo, siempre con una sonrisa. No importa lo que él esté pasando y lo que esté sucediendo en su vida, Kiko nunca pierde su sonrisa. Así que, Marty, Kiko, if you want to come over so you can accept the plaque. And sorry about for the long-winded speech. Well, I just found out your name is Marta. You're not Marty. Marty Vaquero, Publix Supermarket Customer Service Manager. The mayor of the city of Commission of the city of West Miami present this certificate of recognition for the numerous contributions to the city of West Miami. Easter egg hunt, the 4th of July, the yearly event, the arts festival, and the holiday celebration. For promoting continued partnership with the city of West Miami, and especially in recognition to your exemplary customer service skill that has played such an important role with the present of the new public school in our community. Dated this day, the 6th of February 2019. The Guadalupe Mayor, Rhonda Rodriguez Vice Mayor, Juan Blanes Commissioner, and Blanca Commissioner, Luciano Suarez, Commissioner. I'm not going to read it, but you know that Kiko, we really appreciate, and now it's in English. So you got it? Okay. Tell you what, I'll read it. Enrique Kiko Calderini, Publix Producer Clerk. The Mayor and the City Commission of the City of West Miami present this certificate of recognition of your exemplary customer service skill in promoting the new Publix grocery store and pharmacy located within our city limits. Such a professional and friendly environment with your willingness to walk the extra mile has impacted our residents in a positive way. Dated this 6th day of February 2019. Rhonda Rodriguez, Vice Mayor, Juan Blanes, Commissioner, Candida Blanca, Commissioner, and Luciano Suarez.
No, Marty se lo lleva.
Mayor, I'd like to, yes. Because we call him Kiko, Kiko. I think we should call him Super Kiko.
Mayor Moore has come back and visit us at our events.
All right.
She loves our events so much, she's promised if she's off, she's gonna come back to visit us at the events.
Thank you, Marty.
And you know, as they say that public shopping is a pleasure, they are the reason why.
Yes. Now you're gonna be our ambassador, so we're gonna give you the rest of the certificate.
Right.
So you take it to Freddie and George, I'm sorry. Too many names for them. All right, so let's, thank you.
We have Freddie, and we have Freddie Casanova, and we have Jorge Prados, certificates that, it is my understanding, will be taken to them by, I think, we have Freddie and Jorge Prados.
Felicidades.
Kiko can take Jorge's and Marty can take Freddie. I don't know. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, you may want to recognize Carlos Abreu, the owner of Covadonga Restaurant, and Kiko's direct boss. So, thank you, Carlos, for being here.
Thank you. By the way, great restaurant.
Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, would you like me to read next item and then we can proceed with the presentations?
Please do.
Yes, item 5B is a presentation of recognition to Barón de Paré for sponsorship to the lighting of the tree ceremony event 2018 by Mayor and City Commission. And together, we also have a presentation of recognition to beauty queens for being role models and ambassadors of goodwill by Mayor and City Commission.
First of all, if you don't mind, with all due respect to the beautiful lady, without Barón de Paré, this will not be possible. So, for years, Barón de Paré has collaborated with the city of West Miami during a special event, and tonight is our way of recognizing all the young ladies who attended our event, known as the Reinas de Barón, to brighten our light. So, for that, now I believe we're going to recognize Barón de Paré first.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, and then we're gonna start calling the beauties, the beauty queens one by name, and you can stand here in the front with the commission and Mr. de Paré.
¿Tú quieres que le llame los nombres? A Neri.
Well, actually, I want to give this to Commissioner Luciano Suarez. Are you sure? Okay, all right. We want to present this certificate of appreciation to the Mayor of the City Commission of the City of West Miami recognize your sponsorship to the lighting of the spring 2018 event, and hereby attend our gratitude for our continued commitment and ongoing support to improve the quality of life in our community. Dated February the 6th, 2019. Mayor Eduardo Muña, Vice Mayor Rhonda Rodriguez, Juan Blanes, Commissioner, Candida Blanca, Commissioners, and Luciano Suarez.
And I just want to say a few words, to the city of West Miami, because actually I consider, even though I'm not a resident of the city, to pretty much be an honorary resident of the city, because I spend so much time in it. And ever since the inception of the city, many years ago, I've been involved, and I've always volunteered my time, not just for the tree lighting, but I've always said, to the city, here I am, or whatever it is that they need, because I truly believe, I'm a community activist in the city of Miami, but I truly believe that whatever happens across the road affects us all. And I'm very happy that I've worked for years with the commissioner, with the mayor, with the police department to work to improve our neighborhood. And I'm very, very grateful to the city for everything they have done, not just for me, but for the entire community, and for recognizing our beauty queens that are true role models. Actually, we have two young ladies that went on a national citrus pageant, and they brought home not only the crown of one of them, but they won the overall crown out of 287 girls that were crowned, and represent true role models and future leaders in our community. So I'm very, very blessed to be able to lead these girls in the right path of life. So thank you for the opportunity, Mayor and the commissioners. Really appreciate it.
Because let me show this. You see, it said around the parade. You should. We may say, we should say, the famous around the parade, because he's very famous international, and of course in our communities. You are in very good hands. He has been creating a lot of queens, and you now are in very good hands with the famous around the parade.
Mr. Mayor, if you like, I can call up the names of our celebrities here this evening so that you can pass on their recognitions. The first one in the list is Isabela Toledo, Miss Hispanidad USA Elite. Chanel Figueroa, Tiny Hispanidad USA. Charlene Quintero, Little Hispanidad USA. Charlene, okay. Elizabeth Mena, Preteen Hispanidad USA. Jessica Dorado, Junior Teen Hispanidad USA. Welmis Hernandez, Teen Hispanidad USA. Suani Ortiz, Miss Hispanidad USA. Laura Rodriguez, Hispanidad, Florida.
I hope you have a wide angle. Or shall we start like over here? Yes.
Jennifer Torres, Miss Hispanidad USA Ambassador. Kayla Borrego, Miss Hispanidad USA Hostess. Laura Rodriguez, I called her. Yep. Stephanie Leon, Tiny Magic City. Qué linda. Qué linda, look at her hair. Camila Cartaya, Little Magic City. Amelie Sierra, Preteen Magic City. Naylis Collazo, Junior Teen Magic City. Emily Hernandez, Teen Magic City. Anifer Marquetis, Miss Magic City. Ana Laura Peña, Miss Magic City Hostess. Okay. And Adriana Rojas, Miss Magic City Ambassador. Congratulations, young ladies. ¿Cómo anda, Pedro?
Cheese, please.
Okay. Lo hacemos ahí en el frente, ¿verdad?
You are a magic city.
We're done with the presentation.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. With that, we're going to be closing the agenda for this portion of the meeting. Anybody has anything for the good of the order? Okay. Need a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Good night.
Penna, Mr. Penna. I don't think the mayor's mic is working. Say something?
1, 2, 3. Now it's working. Now it's
yes,
working.
now.
Okay. By the way, we have another meeting at 7:30, so I understand you want to take some pictures and so on, so.
Yeah,
so-
no,
No,
of
no, no,
course.
we got about 30 minutes, okay? All right.
No, 30 minutes?
Okay, 30
minutes?
No,
No.
we have
It's 7:30.
3
But
minutes,
we got-
3
Oh,
to
3 minutes?
He wants to
Oh, I'm sorry, 3 minutes.
You can take your time.
3 minutes.
tomar la foto con la muchachita, hay que dejarle ahora.
not be confused with the beauty queens.
Aquí no tengo Aflac. I don't have Aflac here. I have my downstairs. No, I don't have Aflac. But when you come to our office, I give you the Aflac. But you took an Aflac. You did.
¿Por qué no la buscaste tú? La buscaron ellos.
Sí, claro. Sí, sí, Kiko trabaja ahí. No, no, Carlos, sí. Sí, 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 sí. Ajá. Ok. Ok.
I know he does.
Where's the vice mayor?
Here, right there. Yes. Ya empezamos.
Good evening. Welcome to the city of West Miami. Today is Wednesday, February the 6th, 2019 at 7:50. For the invocation, Ms. Aguilar.
Thank you. Please
Please
rise.
rise.
Let's bow our heads this evening and ask the Lord for our continued blessings. We pray for our leaders so that they are united and resolved in making this country strong and resilient. We thank you for the presence of all our West Miami families and friends in attendance this evening and those that are home. Tonight, we pray for all the families of our fallen law enforcement officers who have lost their loved ones while serving and protecting. We pray for our first responders, our firefighters, military personnel, so that they are able to return home safely, and we are so blessed to have their service. We pray for peace in Venezuela and all countries that are oppressed from being able to enjoy freedom of speech and democracy. We pray for all the families that are going through difficult times and illnesses so that they can be healed physically and emotionally. We pray for our city leaders so that they can continue to govern and serve the citizens by always doing the right thing. We ask this in your name. Amen.
Amen. Chief, for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. Roll call.
Roll call. Mayor Eduardo Mujina.
Present.
Vice Mayor Rhonda Rodriguez.
Present.
Commissioner Candida Blanca.
Yes.
Commissioner Juan Blanes.
Present.
Commissioner Luciano Suarez.
Yes.
City Manager Yolanda Aguilar is present. City Attorney Jose Villalobos is present. City Clerk Annette Gonzalez is present, Mr. Mayor. You have a quorum.
Thank you. Want to take a moment of privilege to recognize Commissioner Rebecca Sosa. Thank you for coming. Item number 4.
Item 4, presentation of minutes for approval for January 16, 2019, regular commission meeting.
Motion. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
And presentation of minutes for approval for January 23rd, 2019, special commission meeting.
Need a motion?
Motion. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Madam Clerk, at this time, I would like to take a couple of items out of order.
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
And that would be 11A, and then followed by 11B. And then after that, I want to take us a little break, okay?
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
So if you can read them, please.
Item 11, under new business agenda items, item 11A, presentation of Miami-Dade County Department Annual Report summarizing the Miami-Dade Fire Rescue Services to the City of West Miami during 2018. This presentation is sponsored by Mayor Mujina and by Chief Downey.
Thank you. I want to yield to Chief with all, Commissioner, you want to speak now or later?
I think we'll probably later.
Later, okay, that's fine, that's fine. Go ahead, Chief.
Well, good evening, Mayor, and Vice
welcome.
Mayor, Council members, and Manager. Once again, Dave Downey here as your Fire Chief. It's an honor as always to be here, and it's especially great for me is for 2019. This is my first presentation for the cities that we serve, and I feel an attachment. You all have been a tremendous supporter of our fire rescue services here. We have Commissioner Sosa, who is a little partial to Station 40, but I can tell you she's one of our #1 supporters on the Commission for Fire Rescue Services. So it's an honor to be here with everybody tonight to give you the report from your fire department. Again, we continue to be strong. We've added some units over the last year. We put 2 units in service, one south, one over at the port. We broke ground on the rebuild of Station 29 in Sweetwater. We hired 131 firefighters last year in 2018. Most of them have gotten onto the field. We've got about 40 some odd left that'll graduate in August, and we're processing new firefighters to hire additional classes. This translates into additional service. We want to add units, we want to enhance our services and make sure that we cover the county appropriately. We opened this temporary station in North Miami, Station 18, so we continue to get strong. In April, we're going to add 3 more new services, one to West Kendall, a fire engine, 57, one down south, engine 50, and a rescue in Miami Lakes. We also, I'm very happy in the central area here to have some temporary property that we're going to erect a station at right in the area of Bird Road and 117th Avenue. That's an area that really needs service. We're constantly drawing out of other areas to feed into that area. So hopefully by later this year we'll have that open. So we're doing well, and we hope to hire an additional 40 to 50 firefighters again this year. Specific to the city, again, we've been here since 1981. Last year, you had a few extra calls. We had 988 calls for service here in the city. This is a model for what I hope to have in all of our service areas. 100% of your calls are handled by Station 40. I mean, we're close in some cities at 90%, but 100%, 40 takes the calls. So I'm proud of that. And that you have 7 firefighters on duty. But more importantly, again, we're a fire department, not a fire station. So you have 6 other stations within 5 miles that can respond if there's something significant. And that translates into 6 more fire engines, 4 rescues, 2 chiefs, another 36 firefighters. And again, I'm proud to say that 65% of all of those are paramedics. So even though the fire truck arrives, I know you like your Rescue 40, but if Engine 40 arrives, it's staffed as well. And we've got the crews here tonight from Station 40, the rescue and the engine. Our customer service satisfaction survey, again, our countywide score out of 5 is a 4.86, but here in the city it's 4.9. And our response times, again, we constantly are working towards trying to chop those away. Countywide, we're at about 7 minutes and 39 seconds, but here we're 6 minutes and 19, so over a minute faster within the city here. And great fire response, although we only logged 1 fire last year, but our countywide average is 6 minutes and 21 seconds, but here it was 3 minutes and 45 seconds, so we did well there. But that's kind of all I have for you. It's been an honor to serve you. I'll be retiring in May after almost 38 years in the fire service. It's time to move on to the next chapter of my life. But it's been an honor to serve this community and this county, and I've had the privilege of coming up through the ranks, and so I'm looking forward to the next chapter. But it's a little bittersweet. I'm a little nervous, to be honest with you. So, but thank you all for your support. You've been great. And I'm sure you'll provide the next fire chief with equal support. And so thank you, and I'll be happy to answer any questions if you have.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you so much. Actually, this time I would like to yield to,
Let's all come up.
okay, all right.
I don't want to speak from here. Chief like family. Come on. Stand here next to us. I didn't want to speak from back there. The mayor has extended to me the honor to speak about your retirement and serving us. And as I do, I speak for everyone. I speak for this whole commission, for the administration, for the manager, for the residents, each and every single resident here in the city of West Miami. We had great service from the Green Machine. Rescue 40, Injured 40, as you said, 100% of the calls are the response has been Station 40. So that means that the response time is less than a minute. So that's an incredible service. So I just thank you for your leadership. I know that running a fire department is a tough job, and imagining the size of the Miami-Dade County Fire Department is an immense task, and it takes great skill, great leadership. Whoever comes along is going to have some big shoes to fill. So, Chief,
Thank you so much, sir.
thank
I
you.
really appreciate
And on behalf of all of us, we got you a little plaque. Every time you look at it, you think of us.
Thank you so much. I appreciate, wow, what a surprise.
It's a firefighter.
It is, yeah, I still remember that. I did that once.
Sí, yo se lo digo ahora.
Yes. Thank you so much, I appreciate it.
Well, Commissioner, you want to say anything?
For a little while, nothing.
Come on, Commissioner. Chief's family too, come on.
For a little while.
No, so you in the middle.
Well, I think the commissioners.
Oh, they're all coming.
Yeah.
Chief?
Oh, you-
No, wait. We will be there in a second. But Chief, we are very proud of Miami-Dade County Fire Department. And I still remember, Yolanda, going back in time when we started fighting to buy the little house next door, and when we were able to expand, and then we wanted the big truck, we wanted the rescue, we wanted the best, and we got the best because your department is the best. Thank you for so many years of leadership, and your new chapter is going to be interesting like the ones you have had before, but I have to tell you publicly that I am extremely proud to represent Miami-Dade County Fire Department on Miami-Dade County Commission, and I will always fight for them because they are the ones who save lives. Police officers and firefighters are the first responders. They are the ones who save lives. So thank you, congratulations. We're gonna have our moment at Miami-Dade County, but I want this wonderful people to join you, if you allow me, Mr. Mayor, for a picture. Let's go for it.
Thank you, Commissioner. Mayor, I have something to say.
Yes, go ahead.
I want to say something in reference to this fire station we have. As Commissioner Rebecca Sosa said, she is and she was the main person and the main force and the power to bring that fire station to here. Because we have a rescue truck, and then she fight for a bigger rescue truck, and then she fight for an engine, a big engine, and then she fight to buy the other house next to the other, and then eventually we have the fire station 40 that we all see next door. Is because you, Rebecca. Thank you very much. And thank you to the chief and all these young heroes that are here. Thank you very much for your service. And the last thing I have is a question. Chief, what are you going to do after May? All right, thank you very much. It's a good answer. Good answer. Thank you. Thank you very much. You're welcome.
Thank you. And now for the moment that Armando Aguilar has been waiting for, item B.
Drum roll.
Madam Clerk, can you please?
Yes, item 11B, swearing in of Yolanda Aguilar as city manager. Oath will be administered by Jose Villalobos, our city attorney.
No, she goes. We don't go.
Are you going to swear that you're going to tell the truth?
And only the truth.
I, Yolanda Aguilar,
I, Yolanda Aguilar,
solemnly swear and affirm
solemnly swear and affirm
that I will support the Constitution,
that I will support the Constitution
obey the laws of the United States of America,
and will obey the laws of the United States of America
and the state of Florida,
and the state of Florida,
and that I will respect and observe the provisions of the Charter,
and I will respect and obey the provisions of the Charter
ordinances of the City of West Miami,
and ordinances of the City of West Miami,
faithfully discharge the duty
and will faithfully discharge the duty
of
of city manager of the City of West Miami. So help me God. Now we can stand.
The family can the family come forward for pictures?
He's very happy that she's not going to be home.
My mom.
Let's go.
You know when I played kick your tennis?
Let's go.
No, allow it. No, allow it. Good side.
Gary, Luli, Pepe. Es importante. Mira las niñas de Navidad. Mira las niñas. Gary, son de dieta. Son de dieta. Lo que cargó Rebeca es de dieta. Fue de dieta. Así que ve para
She
But-
wants to say something first.
Excuse me. I just want to say something before Yolanda Aguilar speaks, because it's going to take a little while. No, we'll do it short. I just want to say one thing. Mr. Pena, we're going to miss you.
Where's he at, Mr. Pell? Where's he at?
Yolanda Aguilar, welcome back.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you. If I may, I'd like
Yes,
to
please.
just share some thoughts with you.
And by the way, then we're going to take a break.
Yeah. Thank you. I won't bore you, and I'll make it very quick, short, and to the point. First, yes. First and foremost, I'm very happy to have the privilege of returning to the city, to the position of city manager, this city that I love so much with passion. And for this opportunity, I praise God. Since my return, the Mayor, Eduardo Moiña, Vice Mayor Rhonda Rodriguez, Commissioners Candy Blanca, Juan Blanes, and Luciano Suarez, and District 6 Vice Chairwoman, she's the Vice Chair, not a Commissioner now, Rebecca Sosa, who's my friend and mentor, former elected officials, Carlos Diaz-Padrón, members of staff, employees, and citizens of the city have greeted me and welcomed me with open arms. To my husband, Armando, my children, Mandy and Yoli, he'll always be Mandy, no matter what uniform he wears, my daughter and son-in-law, my 4 beautiful granddaughters, my mother, Yolanda de Blanco, a resident of the city. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for your unwavering support in all my professional decisions and work-related endeavors. To my friends and colleagues, thank you for your friendship and for being here tonight. But tonight it's really not about me. It's about the city and its future and how we will continue to raise the bar in the delivery of services. I pledge to work with the mayor and city commissioners, our municipal partners, our staff, employees, in an effort to see your vision through with the same interest, enthusiasm, and integrity as in the past, but today is a new day, and I bring new energy to the city. I would like to thank Mr. Juan Pena, our Director of Public Works, for his service as acting city manager during my time away. Thank you, Juan, from the bottom of my heart. I would also like to take a moment to recognize Rita Rodriguez for her service as the acting finance director during Luli's time away. Rita, thank you for your service. In addition, I wish to thank our city clerk, Aneri, who also stepped up to the plate to help the acting city manager and the office staff during this time. Kari, and everyone who's played an important role in my life and my return. It has been proven time and time again that this city is different because of those who labor here for the greater good. So as stated by a former Board of County Commissioner years ago for Miami-Dade County, you all done good. In closing, we still have challenges that we face, both professional and personal, but we cannot lose sight of our mission, and we should never compromise our work ethics and values. And I continue to stand tall on that. I commit to another round for the city that I love with all my heart. Again, thank you for the trust and the confidence that each and every one of you have placed in me. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. And I promise not to be here 35 years. Thank you. Thank you very much. Mr. Mayor, I'd like to recognize a couple of very important people in the community that are here this evening. I'd like to make a special shout out to, well, our former mayor, Carlos Diaz-Padrón, also with former mayor of the city of West Miami, Rebecca Sosa. I'd like to welcome here Manny Gomez, formerly with the City of Miami Police Department, the man with a horse. Manny, where are you? Welcome, and thank you very much for being here. I'd like to also welcome Claudia Miro, who is here this evening. I don't know whether she left, but a member of the community. Captain Rafael Suarez, a former resident of the city. He's with the City of Miami Gardens. Thank you, Ralph, for being here. Wilbur Jackson, also a former first responder with the City of Miami. And where's Wilbur? I think he maybe left. But I wanted to mention these individuals. And of course, I wanted to mention the mayor's office is represented here by Terry Arbesu. There you are, Terry. So thank you for being here, and thank you for everything.
Thank you.
And I'm sorry, Jose Fuentes. How could I miss you? Jose, he and my son are the marathon man. So congratulations to both of you on your recent run. Thank you. My son is here and ran, and so very exciting moment in time. So
okay.
Thank you.
Before we take a short break, anybody else wants to say anything? Going once, going twice. Let's take a break.
Thank you. Please join us for some refreshments. Ratones. Love you.
Okay, let's continue the meeting.
Understood.
Madam Clerk.
Padron Brothers.
Yes, Padron Brothers. Padron Brothers.
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, can we go back to the original order of the agenda? I believe that will be item 5.
Yes, item 5, report of the city manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll be as brief as I can. Item number 1 is the potable water system at the January 23rd, 2019 Special City Commission meeting. While I was on the brief sabbatical on the other side of the room here, the mayor and members of the city commission asked that we follow up with a special meeting to discuss potable water system as part of the legislative agenda in Tallahassee. In keeping with this directive, we should set a date for a workshop so that we can prepare to provide you with a background of the city's aged potable water system. In a conversation with Juan Pena, our Director of Public Works, whom I'm going to heavily rely for the preparation of this report, we are recommending that you set aside Wednesday, March 20th at 6 p.m. because it is a day of a commission meeting, and we feel that we can, in an hour's time, give you a presentation or a report on what the issues are involving the potable water system. So I don't know if that would be suitable and if it would meet with the agenda and the scheduling of the mayor and city commissioners. March 20th, that's a Wednesday at 6 p.m. We do have a commission meeting at 7:30 that evening.
Mayor, I have a question.
Yes.
This is going to be a workshop
Yes, sir.
in March,
March 20th.
but if we have to have a workshop in March, it's almost the end of the legislature in Tallahassee. We have to talk about these things next week and 2 weeks from now. What we do talking in March? Yeah, but in March 20, we have a workshop. We don't have time to go to Tallahassee to present anything.
If I may, just for clarification,
Yes.
the workshop would be to give you the history on what has occurred with the water system over the last few years.
But I think we should have that workshop sooner to know what is happening. So in case we go to Tallahassee, we know. No, in March 20, Yolanda, it's too late. We know already what happened with the potable water, but the workshop have to be now in February.
If you want
I
to speed it
understand
up,
that,
we do
but-
need a few days for preparation. Mr. Penna advises he needs a couple of weeks so that we can sort of piece
know.
our presentation together for you. If you would like, we can aim at the next commission meeting on the 20th and give you whatever is available to us at that time.
My point, Yolanda, is that we are going to have a workshop about potable water. We are working, trying to get money in Tallahassee. And we should be there as soon as possible. Not at the end of the period at the days. We have to go before that to work on the potable water.
I don't disagree with you, sir.
So March 20,
Okay,
we were
what,
talking the same thing?
Commissioner Suarez, let's do the following. Why don't we ask, I believe the person that needs to prepare for that is Mr. Pena, and how much time he needs for something like this. I'm sorry to put you on the spot, but it is true that it's an issue that has been going on for a while, and apparently it's hot right now. So how much time do you need to prepare?
2 weeks is fine. We'll be ready by the 20th.
Right.
You'll be ready
We need to
by-
gather some financial and technical data on that.
Okay,
So we'll meet tomorrow, and I'm glad T.Y. Lin is here so that we can gather some of the information done in the model that they perform for the city. So we'll be ready, February 20th. What time did you have in mind, 6 p.m.?
should be before the meeting.
6 p.m.
Mhm.
Does that agree with your calendar?
Yes.
Okay. February 20th it is.
Okay, next item?
Okay, next item is a report on the lighting of the tree ceremony. Attached to my report and in your agenda packet is a memo issued by my administrative assistant, Kari, on the donations received for the lighting of the tree and a full expense report. We have an overage in donations of $2,161.54 that will be used for future events, and I would recommend that we use this money for the upcoming Easter egg hunt, which we will be talking about in the agenda this evening. So, thanking the sponsors, and along those lines, Mr. Mayor, they have been invited to attend the next commission meeting so that you can present the certificates of appreciation. The next item on my report is the passport office. The bid documents and specifications for the expansion of the city's passport office are in the final stages of completion, and it is I'm informed by Mr. Penna that the city will be going out to bid sometime in March with a possible award date if the bids come in and they're within our budget parameters and a recommendation is made, that we can actually award sometime late April 2019. The next item in the report is the capital improvement projects. We're going to be meeting with our engineers in the coming days to discuss the progress of all municipal projects that have been assigned to them for design, and we will bring a report back to the mayor and city commission on the status on those projects. Last but not least in my report is the issue of the Garden Club Park. I am advised that minor completion items along with the construction of the restroom facility at the Garden Club Park are still ongoing. The parking end is completed, and Mr. Penna, I'd like to give you a special mention. The parking in the front has really done aesthetically very pleasing, and it's going to be very clean and accessible to the public, so it's a great job. Thank you. Our intention is to complete the project as soon as possible and schedule a ribbon cutting ceremony for the official opening of the park early spring, and we'll give you more to follow on that. Along those lines, I don't want to ignore a report that was submitted by Mr. Penna during the final weeks of his position as acting city manager. He has been informed, we have received emails from the new project managers, they call themselves PDMGs, as to the status of Hurricane Irma and the reimbursement of the project. There are a total of 4 phases of review, and it can be longer if they have any pending questions during the review process. I should note for the record that we have had probably 10 PDMGs assigned to us since the storm. They apparently have been relocated. Some people are no longer with FEMA, although we will stay on top of this item. Mr. Penna is advising in his report that the markers for Southwest 16th Street from 57th Avenue to 67th Avenue continue to be made during the downtime for public works from other city projects. He has also obtained a lighted version for the conceptual drawings for the replacement of the city entrance signage. He's asking for price quotations at this time, and once we receive it, we will work together on how and bring it to you on how you wish to proceed. The Public Works Director advises that they have finished the cement portion of the new parking improvements in front of the Garden Club Park as previously reported. And that's a very nice job they did out there. The live oak stump in front of the community center was approved to become some type of sculpture, a carved sculpture for everyone to enjoy. Mr. Penna has been working with a wood carver that provided us with a quote to perform the work estimated at $4,500,
And then there's the stump work that has to be done as well. He's estimating that the rework of the project will cost approximately $10,000. That's the oak tree in front of the community center. So we'll bring you a proposal, a more definite proposal, and we'll bring you a couple of conceptual designs. In his report, there are some exhibits of this carver's work for your enjoyment and so that you could see what type of work this gentleman does. The next item is that the city has continued to perform minor remodelings of the City Hall and Commission chambers. He has requested proposals for the replacement of the windows for the City Hall complex so we could change them to impact windows. Some will be funded from impact fees and the others from FEMA from the allocated funds. This work will take some time within the next couple of months. And pardon our dust, as he says. Our city engineers are working on the design of the 2 drainage projects approved by the City Commission in December 2018. The Public Works Director also advises that they have submitted through the city engineers to RER, which is an agency of the county, and DERM, the requested water and sewer atlas on the GIS format that they have requested. This is consistent with the requirements of the court order consent decree over the operation of the county sewer system. We've also submitted the requirement, the CMON requirement for the sewer consent decree, also with the regulatory agency for Miami-Dade County. We are awaiting for them to review it and finally accept the work performed in the sewer system over the last year. The final item in his report is he received an email from the state of Florida on the HMGP funds, which is a wish list that was prepared by the city for the use of federal monies as a result of total damage by Hurricane Irma for the hardening of the facilities. And these monies become available to communities so that mitigation projects can take place so that future storms do not have such a tremendous impact on the city. We have actually gone up in the list because we are competing with other communities. We are up about 30 points from where we were at. So either people are dropping out of this opportunity to participate in the grant programs, or our projects are scoring higher. So it's looking very favorable for the city. The 2 projects submitted is the expansion for the police department and the recreation center annex, which are 2 of the projects that he has requested funding for T.Y. Lin to start the work with a 30% design build. So it looks like we're moving up in that priority list very quickly. That concludes the reports from the acting city manager and the city manager's office.
Thank you very much. Next item. Next item.
Item 6, report of the city attorney.
There's a very brief report. It is apparent that ATS has once again flared up. There have been several attempts by the ticket clinic to open up the litigation once again. Now we're in the process, the manager and I, and see whether the vendor will assume the responsibility of paying for the cost of the impending litigation.
Thank you. Next item.
Item 7, report of the city engineers.
Good evening. I believe the city manager covered most of what we have going on right now, but just to give a quick summary with some maybe just a little bit of update on a few of the projects before we have our meeting. I could just give you guys a quick update.
By the way, before you, is there any item on the agenda that you want to take on? No? Okay, all right.
As mentioned, the projects that we were awarded late 2018, we've full steam on those projects. The drainage project's about 50% done. We finished one of the streets already. We're waiting for some survey work for the work along near 57th Avenue to complete that. We anticipate being ready with those plans in March. City manager mentioned about the police department, the passport office. We're working on the design criteria package for that, which is all the 30% design, as well as all the procurement documents for the design build procurement that'll, hopefully go out sometime April or May timeframe. The passport office, as she mentioned, is also, that's complete and ready to go, so that'll be the first project out of the gate that will go through procurement and get a contractor on board. Couple other little items, Cooper Park, we recently finished some pavement work over there. Still have some electrical work and some miscellaneous stuff to do at the park there. That'll be coming up throughout the year. City manager also mentioned about the recent compliance that we had to do with DERM. That's usually end of the year thing that we have to scramble on. This year was particularly intensive, primarily because of the GIS maps that they were requesting. We had to basically prepare a GIS database for all the water, from scratch, for all the water, sewer, as well as all the customer data. So if you're not familiar with what GIS is, if you've ever been on the county website and played with the property search and all that is based on a GIS system. It's a geographical information system. So it's basically a database on a map. So we had to take all the as-built, all the drawings that the city had on file, and digitize them essentially and put them in a modern format. So we did that. We were able to complete that for the entire water system, the entire sewer system, as well as every resident in the city who has a customer account is now in a GIS database. So it was actually, it's excellent for it's an excellent tool for the city going in the future in case we want to move to a system like that. The work is there, so it's actually it was a big undertaking over the last month, and I think we're at a point now that the county has reviewed the files. They may still have some comments, but for the most part, it's complete. And that is part of our compliance that we need to do with WASA under the consent decree. The last one was the CMOM, which is the Capacity Management Operation and Maintenance Annual Report. That's something we do every year and we have to maintain. This year we have to go a little further and provide some more specifics on our maintenance program, which we worked with the Public Works Department to put together, and that's also been submitted and accepted. And that's about it. And that's about all we have. Any questions?
Yes, I have a question. So what's the target date for construction on the drainage project on 12 and 57, more or less?
Drawings will be ready in March, so we'll likely go out to bid sometime in April. Let's say another month or two to get the procurement done. So April, May, June, I would say midsummer.
Okay.
Break ground. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
One of the items that Mr. Alonso forgot to mention is that if you don't meet the consent decree requirements, our pump stations go into moratorium, and that stops all construction along the perimeters.
Good call.
Yes, I forgot to mention that.
Very important.
So we were doing all that work with a gun to our head, essentially. So we got it done. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good job. Good job.
Good job.
Anything else?
Any further question for the engineer? Okay, thank you so
All
much.
right. Thank you, guys.
Next item,
Item 8, committee reports. Report the mayor.
no more reports for tonight from me.
Any other
Anybody
committee?
else?
No, sir.
Okay, next item.
Item 9, citizen presentations. No presentations, Mr. Mayor.
Okay,
Item 10,
night.
under unfinished business. Item 10A, report by the Office of the City Manager in reference to legislative appropriations for fiscal year 2019-20 and submission of the required forms by City Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and City Commissioners. We have submitted the required appropriations for the potable water system for the fiscal year 2019-2020. Mr. Gomez, our legislative consultant, has received it. He is working in Tallahassee with his team, and hopefully this year will be a good year for the city. Want to keep our fingers crossed. That pretty much concludes that agenda item.
Thank you. Next item?
Item 10B is a report of the Office of the City Manager in reference to Hurricane Irma FEMA credit line extension with City National Bank by City Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and members of the City Commission. In addition to the Irma and FEMA related reports, City National Bank has extended to us a courtesy of actually a renewal, not a renewal, but a short-term extension on the credit line through March 28th, 2019, in hopes that we can get reimbursed by FEMA. I'd like to report that we did receive 3 small reimbursements from FEMA that have posted, and we have paid $100,000 into the credit line, which is really nothing in the scheme of things, but we wanted to show good faith to the bank so that they see that we are serious, and as soon as we get the money from FEMA, we are repaying into the principal of the loan. Probably the second week in March, if we haven't had any successful reimbursements by FEMA, we will probably have to initiate the extension of the loan. And what we're trying to avoid by these short-term extensions is not to have to pay more additional closing costs so that it doesn't cost the city any more money. We're going to pull some strings and we're working on a letter right now so that we can send to our senators, Marco Rubio and Senator Rick Scott, to see if we can get their attention and plead our case to them to see if there's anything that they can do to help us with our reimbursement request. We will send you a draft letter before it goes out for your approval.
The amount of money that you sent, telling us to amortize the principal.
That's what I did. Yes, the $100,000 that we paid, as I stated before, goes to amortize our principal balance.
Thank you. Okay. Madam Clerk, next item?
Yes, next item would be item 11C. This is a resolution of the mayor and the City Commission of the City of West Miami reinstating Yolanda Aguilar as city manager commencing February 1st, 2019, reinstating acting city manager Juan Pena as the director of public works, director of planning and zoning, and chief code enforcement officer commencing February 1st, 2019, reinstating Mercedes Leon as finance director and Rita Rodriguez as assistant finance director commencing February 1st, 2019, providing for an effective date, mayor and city commission.
Okay.
Second.
Okay. Can you call the vote, please?
Yes, Commissioner Blanes, how do you vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Suarez?
Yes.
Commissioner Blanca?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Rodriguez?
Yes.
Mayor Mujina?
Yes.
5-0, item passes.
Next item?
Item 11D, resolution of the City of West Miami appointing Yolanda Aguilar as city manager and Mercedes Leon finance director as authorized agents of the City of West Miami to designate authorized banking signatures for banking purposes and providing for an effective date, mayor and city commission.
Motion. Second.
Okay, call the vote?
Commissioner Suarez, how do you vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Blanes?
Yes.
Commissioner Blanca?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Rodriguez?
Yes.
Mayor Mujina?
Yes.
5-0, item passes.
Next item?
Item 11E, resolution of the mayor and city commission of the City of West Miami authorizing the city manager to purchase a new surveillance system that will serve to enhance the security in the police department, city hall, and public services building, providing for funding to be provided for impact fees, 50% from police impact fees and 50% from GSA impact fees, accepting the recommendation by the Office of the Chief of Police to purchase said equipment for ERSC security in the amount of $11,617.44. The lowest responsible bidder, providing for effective date, mayor and city commission.
Mr. Mayor, if,
Yes.
before you vote on this issue, we are I would highly recommend that you hear from your acting chief of police on the issue of the surveillance cameras. Thank you.
Okay.
And Mayor, I have a question also when Deputy
Okay.
Chief is done.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, Madam Manager. Congratulations.
Thank you.
This request has been made, the security system that we have, the camera system is very old. It is not functioning well, and there's no more repairs. We've taped up everything that we can, and we've replaced, and borrowed and fixed everything we can. So we began the search to see if we can get a company, the best company we can get in the prices, and we were able to get 3 bids, and this is the lowest bid out of the 3. We're also enhancing the security system for City Hall and for the Public Works Department. So all of it is going to be integrated for the entire city property.
Good.
It's a state-of-the-art camera system.
Good, reputable company?
Reputable company, and the equipment is top of the line. And they came in a lot lower than anybody else.
Okay.
My question,
And
Mr. Mayor.
this is coming from impact fees.
Mhm.
So 50% from the
This
police.
might as well be for Deputy Chief as well. City Hall, Public Works, Police Department, wonderful. Why are we not doing the rec center?
I don't have an answer to that. Maybe the city manager can answer that.
And Vice Mayor, I know we met during our conversation in our pre-agenda meeting today, we discussed this. Like I said, I just got back into the office on February 1st. We can look at expanding this by maybe giving the company additional work to look into the recreation center, and obviously that would involve Mr. Penna, Deputy Chief Avila's input, and John Michael Lopez,
Right, if I
our
may
Parks
address
Director.
Commissioner Blanes, I believe that the children, our staff and children there should also.
I think we need to take every precaution. I
Yes.
thank you for bringing that up, Madam Vice Mayor.
I was surprised it wasn't included, that's why I asked. I'm thinking, why
Well-
weren't we already looking at that? With all that's been going on, we should have some type of surveillance
I do
system
not have an
there.
answer for you. It was very expensive. Prices in security camera systems have gone down as technology gets better, more companies are. So I don't have an answer for you. I also have concerns about the privacy issue involving children. I'm not sure that a public park, and I would defer to the city attorney to maybe check into this. I'm not sure if cameras are allowed in that type of enclosed park
Okay,
setting.
that's,
I don't know the answer to that. But I've heard in the past that can be a problem. Again, I'm not an expert at that. I
Okay.
don't know the answer to that, and I would check into that before we do something that maybe can cause a problem.
okay, that's fair
We'll
enough,
have,
but
we'll have our city attorney look into it.
Why don't we do that? Have the
And
city
give us an
attorney
opinion?
Look into it, and then maybe Chief, Acting Chief, if we can have those gentlemen from that company look at the facility and see if they can do something, you know, recommend maybe different possibilities and maybe tie it into this new bid, and if it isn't a lot of money, then we go ahead and do it, providing that
Right.
it's legal. Because, yeah, I know that does.
If it is legal, what we could do is get started on the award process for the main complex building, and then ask them to submit a bid for the additional work at the
Not
recreation
a bid, but a
center.
change order.
A change order to the recreation
If
center.
we had a bid, we had to go out to bid again.
If I may, I think that is a good idea. Start with this property, and then in the meantime, get prices for that second property, because it's off-site. So there'll
Correct.
be internet connections, and in other words, to be able to view the cameras and things like that. And in the meantime, it gives us time to find out if legally we can actually do that.
is this a monitored system, like is a
No.
monitor just for surveillance?
It's just for surveillance.
Okay, not
If
for-
something were to
for
happen,
date-
we
not for
immediately can.
Monitoring.
Retrieve the tapes and
Right,
have
exactly,
access
okay,
Now-
that's
to it.
fine, that's,
The cameras will be in the dispatch area. We have a dispatcher 24 hours a day. The cameras are constantly being viewed by the dispatcher.
okay.
They cannot monitor, it's impossible.
No,
to-
but
yeah.
they are,
They're
viewable,
looking at them,
viewable.
and
Okay.
obviously retrievable at request
Of
to
course.
be able to review. for
I
any-
just want to make clear, I'm sorry.
Yes.
I just want to make clear that that would not be a different bid, but it's an integrated bid with an expansion of a change order, if at all we need it, and if at all we can do it. And I need to find out exactly where you want the cameras. I don't see any problem with it. I mean, there's plenty of cameras around town. So it might be, as the chief states, somewhat interesting to find out, but I will, and I'll report back to the chief.
But perhaps we can do also a survey with other municipal parks and see if they have surveillance equipment. I think it would be, a good idea just to have that information.
Okay.
So,
Any further question? Okay,
Motion.
we need a motion. Okay, call the vote.
Yes, Commissioner Blanes, how do you
Yes.
vote? Commissioner Blanca? Commissioner Suarez?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Rodriguez?
Yes.
Mayor Mujina?
Yes,
5-0, item passes.
thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next item?
Item F, this is a request for resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into a tree planting reporting interlocal agreement with Miami-Dade County Parks, Recreation, and Open Spaces Department for the purpose of the city's submittal of the Neat Street 2019 application as part of our commitment to the Tree City USA program and in keeping with our designation by Tree City USA, providing for effective date by city manager.
thank you. Along with the application for our next grant that you previously approved, where the city is committing $10,000 and the grant application is for another $10,000, we need to enter into an agreement with Miami-Dade County for the tree planting program. And so I recommend that you adopt this resolution so that we can submit it as part of the grant and our continued participation in the Tree City USA program.
Actually, the resolution should read 10,000 from the present budget and then 10,000 from impact fees because we're eligible for $40,000.
So you're saying, Juan?
20 on our side and 20 on Miami-Dade County side.
If I may, Mr. Mayor, and this is something we haven't spoken about in detail, does Mr. Ruano know this information?
Yes.
So the application is for $40,000.
That's correct.
And
So-
our combined recommendation is that you authorize this resolution so that the city can proceed to execute the agreement and present it as an addition to the grant documentation.
I have a question. This is a matching grant?
Yes,
We have
sir.
to put 20?
Yes, sir.
thousand
Yes.
In order to get 40? We have to put 20,000 in order to get 40?
That's
In-
correct.
In order to get an additional 20 for a total project of
And
40,000.
the 20,000 from our city can be taken from the impact fee or?
Yes,
Park
sir.
impact fees.
Yes,
Right, because
impact
that-
fees and city budget.
Except for park and recreation, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, I need a clarification. Is it 20 from us and 20 matching, or is it 40 matching?
No, 20 from us and 20 from Miami-Dade County for
Okay,
a total of 40.
40. Okay,
Right, 40.
okay, all right. Okay, so I guess you need a blessing?
No,
We
we
need
have
to,
a resolution.
we need to.
Another item.
Right. The next item is the resolution
Oh,
itself.
okay, I'm sorry.
Yes, item 11G, resolution of the mayor and city commission of the city of West Miami authorizing the city manager to enter into a tree planting reporting interlocal agreement with Miami-Dade County Parks, Recreation, and Open Spaces Department for the purpose of the city's submittal of the Neat Street 2019 application as part of our commitment to the Tree City USA program and in keeping with our designation by Tree City USA, providing for effective date. Mayor and city commission.
Second?
Okay, call the vote.
Yes, Commissioner Blanes, how do you vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Suarez?
Yes.
Commissioner Blanca? Vice Mayor Rodriguez?
Yes.
Mayor Mujina?
Yes.
5-0, item passes.
Next item?
Next item, item 11H, discussion in reference to regulating construction on public right-of-ways, amending Chapter 5, Article 5, entitled Excavations, Section 571 through 581 of the City Code, and creating new Chapter 5A, Article 1, Section 1, entitled Communications Facilities in Public Right-of-Ways by Mayor and City Commission. This is Phase 1 discussion, so for consideration of a legislation, of an ordinance.
Mr.
Okay.
Mayor, I would recommend we yield to Mr. Penna. This is something he started during his term as acting manager, so I think we should hear from him.
Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, back in a couple years ago, the state of Florida allowed all communication companies to co-locate on all the FPL poles that are out there, or utility poles that are out there. As part of that, and because of advances in technology, cell phone towers now are able to be mounted on the top of the pole, just like what we have at Cooper Park, not on the flag, but on the other one that looks like a triangle. That could be mounted at a lower height at 35 feet, which is the top of the FPL pole. In doing this, number one, they're going to be placing them throughout the city to get better coverage. And at the same time, it eliminates the use of the other tower we have at the park. We do, because of the height difference now from 100 feet, whereas at Cooper Park, to the 35 feet, it becomes a problem with, number one, the capacity of the pole, and number two, the aesthetics of the pole in the neighborhoods. So we went ahead and we researched, thanks to Mr. Villalobos' office, all the different ordinances that are out there from different municipalities. And we tailored ours to the city of Jacksonville, which is the one that best suits us, and that is what's before you today.
So basically, if this happened, it would change the aesthetics of.
They'd be a lot more visible. So where we can't prevent them because of the state mandate to allow co-location, but we can regulate them as far as what they look on the pole.
Okay, let me give you a picture so you can understand this. You know how cities change when the electricity was invented, and then they start putting lines all over the place and it looks chaotic. Then further along, television was invented, and then antennas popped all over the place. Okay, this is new technology. Well, not new technology, but it's an implementation of an old technology. And basically, we're going to have these Christmas trees that are not very pretty along the city. So that's basically why this ordinance before us. So
Also,
it will change the aesthetics of
our original
of our
ordinance
city.
was from 1985 or 88, so it did need some updating.
85.
And we proceeded to update that part of the ordinance also.
So, Mr. Brenner, does this resolution,
Ordinance,
ordinance,
future ordinance.
future ordinance, this pretty much lets us dictate how we want that to look?
How and where on that right-of-way the pole will go.
So we have the final say-so. If they do something and we don't like it,
They have to meet
What we
our
say.
requirements in order
Our
to get the
standards.
permit to work.
okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
We're talking about the antenna in Cooper Park. What about the antenna by the old inspection station?
Same thing, eventually they will phase those
They're
out.
going to disappear?
They will eventually phase those out.
Eventually they will, and then there's a potential for revenue
And
loss.
Mike, another part of the question, they are going to do all over the cities in the county.
Yes, sir.
Is a state order? Is a state
The
law?
state allowed co-location, which means that even though FPL owns a pole, they're allowing them to use the pole.
They allowed to use the FPL poles?
Yes.
Put in the top of
Utility poles, yes.
that triangle thing.
That's correct.
So this kind of like enforces our home rule, so to speak.
Yes.
Good, very good.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
It's really not, because we cannot trump the state statute. We can regulate certain aspects of the statute. So we're not enforcing any home rule, we're just regulating the way that aesthetically would look.
Aesthetically.
And how we can manage that we just don't have structures like radar screens or
Right,
something
so
like that.
aesthetic, this allows
In
us to do
addition-
aesthetic rulings.
In addition, we can regulate the strength, So to guard people whenever we have a hurricane or some
There's
tornado or
yeah,
things like that.
that's another one. And furthermore is, they're gonna be able to do this, they're gonna impose something for free. So, right now, there's a revenue that that the city benefits from these towers, that if something like this happened, those towers will disappear.
Now, my last question is this. Now, the companies have those towers.
That's correct.
They direct the signal to those towers, and those towers send to the
Relay the
users.
signal.
Now, what happens is they make a bigger and more powerful cloud, and they just spread to the poles.
Well,
And they don't have to use the antenna.
The technology is better where the interference of height is not a problem anymore. That's why they could come down to the utility poles.
So they spread to whole electric poles around the area, and that's it.
Correct.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
And you got a text in here that I have a patient at home that I need my attention, so if you don't need me, I'd like to be excused, please.
Okay. No, I think we're almost done with that, so.
Okay, thank you very
Can you wait till we vote on this item and then?
Okay.
Okay, any further questions?
No, sir.
Okay, I need a motion.
I do have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
How big is it? How big is this
The
triangle?
platform, it's roughly about 6 by 6 structure,
All right, so
and it's about 24 inches tall.
So it'll lay at a 90-degree angle on top of the pole?
That's correct.
Okay.
There's many, the pole will become the structural, the pole, now all of a sudden you got a pole that is top heavy. Think of hurricane winds. There's a whole bunch of stuff that, I don't see, it's a great benefit for the telephone company,
Yeah, for them.
but not for us.
them.
Yeah.
So, all right. So I need a motion.
Motion.
Okay, call the vote.
Yes, also, so you are voting also to have this on the next meeting as phase 2, which is the first reading. You are okay on proceeding, considering this ordinance? Okay, so we have a motion by Vice Mayor Rodriguez, second by Commissioner Blanca. Commissioner Blanes, how do you vote?
I guess I have to vote yes.
Commissioner Suarez?
Yes.
Commissioner Blanca? Vice Mayor Rodriguez?
Yes.
Mayor Mujina?
Yes.
5-0, item passes, and it will be heard on first reading on February 20th.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Villalobos.
Thank you.
Okay, well, good luck.
Bye, baby. I'll call you
Take
tomorrow.
care. Item I,
Item I, request by the Office of the City Manager in reference to excess accrued vacation time earned by the Acting Finance Director and City Clerk.
Thank you. This item comes to you, Mayor and the members of the City Commission, because there are two individuals involved with this request. As you know, I have certain authority during a window of time, but it is 3 months prior to the closing of the fiscal year. The city clerk, who has stepped up to the plate during our sabbatical, mine and Mrs. Leon's, and Rita have excessive number of vacation days on the books. And they are slated to lose some days, and I think they should be compensated each for 10 days worth of vacation. The amount is $2,444 for each one of them. This is money of time that they have earned, and I think that they shouldn't lose all of it. So I'm proposing that they start taking some time off so that this doesn't happen again, as long as it doesn't interfere with the work, and I would recommend that we pay them for their earned time.
okay, so you
We
need
have
a,
salary savings in a vacancy position for the first 4 months of the fiscal year, so I'm confident that we have the money in the in the Public Works Department of a vacancy for a former employee who went on maternity leave and did not come back when her baby was born.
Okay. What do you need from us? Blessing,
We
motion?
yes, I mean, your approval, it does not require a resolution, but I bring it to you because I am not authorized to transfer between funds until June 30th, 90 days prior to the end of the fiscal year. And I think that it requires commission approval just so we can, work along with the auditors on this item.
I got one question. I mean, since you mentioned it, is the vacancy on the Public Works going to be filled or?
It has.
Huh?
Already
Already
has.
is. Okay, okay.
All right.
So, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, next
Thank you
item.
very much.
Thank you. Next item, item 11J, report by the Office of City Manager in reference to expected retirement of Community Center Director.
Mayor and members of the City Commission, it's been a long evening. I think this item can wait a little bit longer. So I'm requesting that we defer it and we'll bring it back when we're ready.
Okay,
Thank you.
next item.
Item 11K, discussion in reference to Miami-Dade County Public Schools STEM program and setting off date for career date mock commission meeting. Vice Mayor Rodriguez.
Vice Mayor.
Colleagues, just as last year, Somerset Academy has asked to partner with us as part of their STEM, which is Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math program, wherein they will coordinate with the Public Works Director and City Manager to bring the different groups of children to City Hall. Last year, they visited the pump station. Mr. Penna provided a extraordinary explanation to them. I was there. It was amazing. And then other activities that they'll coordinate through the city manager, just as a partnership to get their STEM accreditation. So just, I wanted to bring this to your attention and see if you were still okay with it as you were last year, so that they can proceed with coordinating their dates.
Move.
Okay, yes.
Thank
So, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Next item.
Mr. Mayor, before you leave this item, I'd like to recommend that we schedule the mock commission meeting with the schools as part of that education committee chaired by Vice Mayor Rodriguez. At this time, the school is asking for some dates, and I think that if we can agree to March 13th, 2019, a morning meeting, 10:30 in the morning. First, the children visit the City Hall as part of the program and our various departments, and then they actually pick agenda items that they wish to that they wish to bring up and get input from the students. And so, if you're available for March 13th, 10:30 in the morning.
March
That would
13th.
be
Wednesday.
a Wednesday. It's a non-commission week, so that we don't pack these agendas.
And as always, I welcome and invite all of you to attend. It's a fun time.
I will try.
No, I
can't
know,
promise.
I know.
Okay, I agree.
I got a full-time job. They can come to my office. I'll,
For
Okay,
career day.
we'll extend that invitation to them. You never know, they might take you up on it. As part of their program, I'm sure they would love to visit architectural office.
Anyway, next item.
Item 11L, selection of date for the 2019 Easter egg hunt event by City Manager, Mayor, and City Commission.
Yes, the selection for the date for the Easter egg hunt, we were looking at a calendar, and because Easter falls on Sunday, April 21st, and in combination with the scheduled vacations for public schools and parochial schools, we are proposing a Easter egg hunt on Saturday, April 13th. I don't know how that meets with your calendar, your schedules. The 20th of April is the day before Easter Sunday, and it kind of gets hectic with family activities. I know this is something that Commissioner Blanes started many years ago, and so this is right in line, Commissioner, with the day that the kids get out of school in public schools on the 12th. So we can have it on the 13th, and then they go into their recess for the balance of the week.
What's the month again?
It would be
April.
the month of April.
April 13th.
April 13th. Saturday.
Okay, it's not a Friday. Okay.
It's okay with everybody?
Works for me.
Yeah,
I
it works.
think-
for-
I
Is that
think- I think
acceptable?
that would be good, yes.
Excellent. We'll meet Commissioner Blanes on the preparations and bring back a report to the commission at a later date.
Los huevitos.
It's become a heck of a tradition, let me tell you.
A very nice one, well attended.
Yep.
And more or less the time?
Usually we open the park at 10 a.m.
Okay.
and then we schedule the activities, and it usually winds down around 1:30 in the afternoon, 2 o'clock.
Okay, got it. Thank you. Next item?
Item 11M, request for a proclamation to Maurice Ferre, former sixth-term mayor of City of Miami. This item is sponsored by Commissioner Blanes.
Commissioner Blanes.
I thought it'd be fitting to recognize Mayor Ferre. You know, he was a pioneer. I grew up listening to my father and his friends talk about him and what he was doing for the city of Miami. I owe a lot to the city of Miami. I grew up in the city of Miami, and he did a lot for the city of Miami. He's a very classy, honorable individual, and I thought that we could, you know, give him the key to the city or make him a nice proclamation or something that would be fitting for, you know, for his stature and service, and have him come and also invite our legislative aide, Fausto Gomez, which was his chief of staff when he first became City of Miami mayor.
Interesting.
So I think that Fausto will really get a kick out of it, and I know Mayor Ferre would love to come and visit with us.
I think it's a great.
I'm advised by his former sergeant at arms, our deputy chief of police, Carlos Avila, that the sooner the better.
Okay.
May I?
And we can invite, you know, some retired firefighters and retired police department, and so if we can do this as soon as possible.
Okay.
Okay.
Commissioner Suarez.
May I add something, Commissioner Blanes?
I know very well, I may say very well because I helped always in his campaign as a mayor. Maurice Ferre is an extraordinary family. His grandfather went from Cuba to Puerto Rico in the 1800s. And he found in Ponce, Puerto Rico, a cement factory. And he created a concrete and cement industry in Puerto Rico that was the biggest and the strongest company in Puerto Rico in the construction field. Then his uncle was the governor in Puerto Rico. Was a very, very, very famous family. He has an aunt, was ¿cómo es monja? ¿Cómo se dice monja en inglés?
None.
A nun. He was very popular nun in Puerto Rico. Coming from a rich family, he was a dedicated servant to the poor people in Puerto Rico. And it's a great family. Then Maurice came to Miami. He studied engineer. His career is an engineer, industrial engineer. And then he was the first Hispanic in the Tallahassee legislature. The first Hispanic in the Tallahassee legislature. And then he was the first Hispanic mayor in Miami. And I think was the first Hispanic mayor in Florida. Then he was 12 years as a mayor in Miami. He had the vision from create Brickell in all these areas. He have many, many, many visions. He have the vision to create in Miami a strong medical centers to attract here people from all over the Americas, because we are in the center of the hemisphere. And now in that time, he improved a lot the Jackson Memorial Hospital with the idea to create here a medical area for all the continent in the Spanish people. And then I think the best is a great idea from you, and I think from the city, it will be honoring ourselves to recognize Maurice Ferrer, because his industry here in Miami, in the mall, was a concrete. You remember, some of you remember, some of you are old enough to remember the mall company. And in that time, the Cubans were arriving from the island because the communist government took over the island. And I think 70% of the people who works there were from Cubans, American. So I think it's going to great thing, make a recognition for him. And like you said, invite to our humble city, but dear city and great city in the spirit, not in size, to bring him here as soon as possible because he's sick. To recognize him, I think it's going to be a great idea, a great thing.
Thank you, Commissioner, for that bio. Thank you very much.
If I'm not mistaken, Commissioner, I believe the city of Miami might just renamed a park after him.
Yes.
Yeah, the
Bayfront,
park.
right?
Yeah,
So,
a week
yeah.
ago. Yes. Yes.
Okay, so all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Go to the order.
Mayor, I have something.
For the go to the order?
Yes. I think all of you, I don't know if the Commissioner Ronda Rodriguez knows, Luis Conte Agüero. Luis Conte Agüero is a person who was in Cuba, a congressman, a great speaker, and then through the years he has been very popular in all the political aspects in Central America. Now, he is the president of the Academia Cubana de la Historia, Cuban Academy of the History, right? President of the Academia Cubana de la Historia. And he has been recognized as the Poeta de la Hispanidad. So he's 95 years old. He has a lot of books, he has a lot of things. So they have a group of people who just make studies of the history, not only from Cuba, but all Central American countries. And they are going to make some type of recognizing him and his values. And I think they have a place where they make meetings from the Academia de la Historia. And I request from the city, a key of the city, so will be exposed there in the Academia de la Historia as a symbol that we recognize his intellectual work. And as I tell you, you may ask any Cuban American in Miami, and he will tell you he knows very well Luis Conte Agüero. So I just ask for the blessing of the commission for that.
For the proclamation, you mean?
No, the key of the city. So the key will be exposed in the Academia de la Historia.
Okay. Normally we don't do something like this and go to the order, so what's the
I'm
procedure?
sorry because I forgot to, I don't have time to.
No, it's okay. I'm just
Is
want to
there any problem
follow the clerk. The city attorney's not here. What's the protocol for that? Can we? Oh, by the way, Commissioner, when were you thinking of presenting this?
Well,
when is this event?
I don't have the date today here with me in my hands.
But it's soon.
But it's going to be soon.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, a key to the city is a ceremonial item, and it's you approved in the past that to be presented, it has to be approved by the commission, and it's what Mr. Suarez, Commissioner Suarez is submitting before you.
Okay, no, that's fine. But it's on the good of the order, so I just want to make sure we follow
Well,
proper protocol.
I thought the good-
It's a good cause. I just want to make sure that we follow protocol. That's all.
I don't think it's.
Okay, all right. So all in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you.
Anything else for the good of the order? Okay, I do have one thing, and this is like we have done in the past. This is for future. I would like to, and I don't want to discuss it tonight, because it's good of the order. But, and we have construction in commercial areas, and usually there's a fence on that commercial area. But I see a lot of residential construction in our area, and I don't see a fence, and there's neighbors that complain about it, because what happened with the fence and the cloth is, you don't have, debris flying out, you don't have, it is contained, you don't see, you don't see the construction, so it's also good for the aesthetics. And also when you have, blowing wind, sand doesn't go into the neighbors and so on. So if we don't have something in the ordinance, I think we should contemplate that next time. Okay? It's just to minimize complaints,
Are you gonna put something on the agenda?
That's what I'm asking
Okay.
for the next agenda.
Yeah.
If you guys are in favor of
Yes.
that.
All right.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Anything else?
Good night.
Motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
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 Good night.
Good night.